Nigel Farage has decided to make an announcement.
You might have seen in the Times front page splash showing that support for reform amongst trade union members is now on a par with the Labour Party, which may sound incredible to many, many people. What was really interesting was that amongst Unite and GMB members, actually a fairly big majority said they were now reform voters.
And so a poll has put Reform and Labour level on trade union support. And rather like a note it and move on, Farage has sprinted towards it with both arms open. He wants unions to affiliate with Reform, and he wants their leaders in Birmingham in September. He wants, as he puts it, to signal something.
And I want to signal this today. In the past, political parties have been pro-union or they've been anti-union, and never the twain shall meet. I accept that there will be some political differences between trade union leaders and their views and mine. But I want to make this open offer. I want to say to the trade unions, I want to welcome them if they want to affiliate with our party, given the sheer number of their members that are voting for us. I want to make this personal invitation to union leaders to come to the Birmingham NEC, to our conference in early September, and I'll sit down, I'll meet you and talk about policy, because we are on the side of working people.
We're on the side of working people. Really? Really? Come on, let's just check that, shall we? I mean, this isn't the first time he's said it. I mean, earlier this year, Reform press conference, he said it again.
We are pro-worker. We believe what we do will create many, many more jobs. Many, many more jobs. And I would say this, jobs, yes, and people will have to work hard, but jobs that will come with a quality of life.
Pro-worker, great. Here's what pro-worker actually looks like in practice. Last November, Farage held a press conference at the Banking Hall in the City of London, and he was asked whether the minimum wage was too high.
And work isn't even paying. Our million lowest paid workers would all be better off if they claimed to have mild anxiety. That is the level of mess we're in.
Ah yes, everyone's faking it line. Classic comparison from the man who's never had to pick between heating and rent. But he's right about one thing, work doesn't pay like it used to.
There's an argument the minimum wage is too high for younger workers.
That right there is the workers' champion, on camera suggesting that we cut young people's minimum wage. The very same man who's declared himself the voice of Alarm Clock Britain wants people setting those alarm clocks to earn a little less. Then there's the Employment Rights Act, Labour's flagship workers' rights legislation, the biggest single expansion of employment protections in a generation. 0-hour contract bans, day one sick pay, protections against fire and rehire, bereavement leave from day one. Every Reform MP voted against it as second reading, along with the Conservatives.
So look, the idea that the employment rights legislation should apply to a company with 3 employees, you have to start asking yourself a question. Who's that good for? Well, it's not good for the company.
The TUC didn't miss the irony. Paul Novak said Reform had consistently voted against the interests of working people, and that if Farage truly believed in supporting workers, he would have walked through the lobbies with the Labour MPs. Instead, Reform voted against working people. And what else is quite interesting is that in Farage's own Clacton constituency, polling found 77% of voters support banning 0 contract hours, and yet he voted against it, in the seat that he needs to hold. And then there's the ECHR. In October of last year, Farage introduced a private member's bill to withdraw the UK from the European Convention on Human Rights.
To bring in a bill to make provision for the United Kingdom to withdraw from the European Convention on Human Rights and to make further provision in connection with the withdrawal of the United Kingdom from that convention.
Now, he framed it as entirely an immigration argument, foreign courts, unelected judges, boats, and all that jazz. MPs voted it down 154 to 96. But what people need to understand is that the ECHR just doesn't cover immigration issues. Article 11 of that same convention, the one he wants to leave, is the right to form and join trade unions. It's a part of the legal framework that underpins collective bargaining within this country. The rights framework he's inviting union leaders to trust him with is the same one he tried to dismantle 7 months ago. He's not offering unions a seat at the table, he's offering them a photograph next to the man who tried to remove their legal foundation. So this week, Richard Tice also held a press conference. He was asked a very direct question by PA News, given Reform's admiration for Margaret Thatcher. Did she do the right thing when she took on the mining unions in the 1980s? A battle, the journalist noted, that was largely about breaking union power.
You've previously expressed admiration for the economic policies of Margaret Thatcher. Do you think she was right to take on the mining union in the 80s in a battle which was largely about breaking union power?
That was 40-odd years ago. We are where we are now. What we want is a sensible working relationship with trade union members, trade union leaders. It's a very important part of a democracy. And I think that there are issues that need to be discussed and debated. It's about getting the balance right and having a sort of a fair set of rules and laws for everything around trade unions, votes and the like. And look, at the end of the day, we want to run the country. We want to run it better than anybody else. And that means working with trade unions, with all interested parties in doing that. And isn't it interesting that the majority of union members in the two biggest trade unions donating to the Labour Party, GMB and Unite, majority of their members are voting Reform?
Now, he couldn't answer it because his honest answer would be, yes, Thatcher was right. We would do the same. It probably would have ended the union pitch before it even started. So instead, you get warm words about common ground and sensible discussions and getting around the table. Question asked was whether Reform would break up union power, and the answer was, well, it's like a bit of a weather forecast really, wasn't it? Worth noting, as a young Tory member in the 1980s, Farage himself was cheerleader for that exact policy. The union's own leaders made a point within hours of the invitation landing. He spent a formative political years backing the woman whose defining domestic achievement was that of the destruction of the organised labour in this country, and he's now inviting those same unions to affiliate with him. The affiliation offer itself deserves a closer look too, because there's something structurally dishonest about it. Surprise, surprise. When unions affiliate with Labour, they get a seat at the table. Votes on policy, real institutional weight. Reform is inviting unions to affiliate, but Reform is a party where policy is decided by one person. Members don't get to vote on it. The NEC doesn't get to debate it. Union leaders who show up at Birmingham in September won't shape a single policy. They'll be photographed next to Farage, used as a backdrop, and then sent home packing. And that's not a relationship. That's a press opportunity with a cup of tea. The GMB put it plainly. Mr Farage and his Reform MPs say one thing to workers and then do another. They voted against sick pay and other essential safeguards. They even want to prevent people organising to make work better at places like Amazon. Amazon, the GMB specifically named Amazon, the same union whose members spent years fighting for basic recognition rights at a warehouse in Coventry, a battle they lost by 28 votes. And Reform's position, according to the GMB, is that the workers shouldn't be able to organise there at all. Which brings us to the final point. At the press conference, the Guardian's Rowena Menson asked Tice something very simple. Why hasn't Farage held a press conference in 50 days?
Why is Nigel Farage still refusing to face proper scrutiny over the £5 million given to him by Christopher Harben? And is this the kind of transparency we can expect from Reform if you do get into government? And can you clarify specifically whether Nigel Farage or any other members of the party accepted other significant donations that have not been declared?
So there's no one more transparent who does more press conferences, frankly, than us at Reform. I mean, here we are today. We take all questions. And I think actually Nigel has given a number of interviews. He's been very clear. He wasn't in politics when that gift was made. He believes the advice has been absolutely clear that it's within the rules. Obviously, we've got the Parliamentary Standards Commissioner looking at it. They'll form their own judgment in due course. But isn't it a sense of actually how Reform is growing? We do press conferences and the like, and it's part of actually showing that Reform has talent across the whole board. That, you know, we're doing these press conferences, whether it's me, whether it's Zia, whether it's whoever, and we're not afraid of any scrutiny. But we do think also that it should be fair scrutiny. And, that's where we're at. So, not afraid of anything.
Well, later that day, Farage did actually come out of hiding, but it's very clear that he had very carefully selected his questions because nobody seemed to mention his $5 million personal donation. And now he's also announced his next move.
I will be launching my Substack this Sunday. These essays will be once a month. They'll be long-form essays. They will not be edited by anybody else. They will not be misconstrued by parts of mainstream media, most of all the BBC, by the way. I've just had my third apology from the BBC for the way they've literally misrepresented what I've said. So it's there for all to see. You'll see my argumentation, you'll see my passion, you'll see what I believe to be the sensible logic that I apply to the problems we face as a country and what the solutions are.
A Substack, one long essay a month, unedited, he says, not misconstrued by the mainstream media, especially not the BBC, who have indeed apologised to him 3 times, most recently for a presenter who misquoted him for calling it white cold rage when he actually said pure cold rage. As if that makes a lot of difference. But, fair's fair, that apology was warranted and the BBC got it wrong and so corrected it. But notice what he's doing. The man who wants to lead workers' movement, who's just invited union leaders into Birmingham, who says there will always be an open door, is retreating to a platform with no editors, no follow-up questions, and a subscription model that is calling free. Now, I could be wrong on this, but I'm pretty sure that Substack's free tier is just like the acquisition funnel. The paid tier is where the money is. The man who declared $873,000 in outside earnings last year is adding yet another revenue stream behind the wall of his own creation. And that's all it is, really. It's just a way to avoid scrutiny. And that way, nobody will ask him why he voted against sick pay or why he's calling himself the workers' champion. And nobody will ask him whether Thatcher was right about the miners. Because we already know what the honest answer to that one is.